Jacket in the rain of Liverpool. It's not heavy rain, but it's evident. Kevin Hatchard.
He's a Dutchman, he's used to a bit of rain, he can deal with that. It's a really intriguing night tonight, Mike, because Liverpool have this extraordinary challenge against the European champions. Can they score at least twice against them? But can they keep them out at the other end? Because this Paris team has really got into the groove in the last few weeks. We've been waiting for that, waiting for them to hit top gear, as they did after Christmas last year. And they're starting to create those performances once again. That first leg, I thought, was the best we've seen them play this season in the Champions League, and they've had some really good performances. Real test for Liverpool tonight.
And it's Paris Saint-Germain who get this game underway, attacking the goal away to our right in this first half. Liverpool in their customary all red. Paris Saint-Germain in a chain strip known as the Jordan Knight edition. Black with various flecks across it in different colours. It's they who have possession on the far side of the field with Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Liverpool win it back quickly. And on the spin, Hugo Ekitike plays it infield to Dominik Szoboszlai. Early ball out to this left side for Liverpool. Milos Kerkez couldn't quite keep the ball in play, and so it's a throw-in to Paris Saint-Germain. One
of the really interesting areas tonight, Mike, is going to be that wide battle, because you've got lots of pace out wide. You've got Nuno Mendes and Achraf Hakimi bursting forward from the fullback positions for Paris. So Liverpool have decided to fight fire with fire. They've got Milos Kerkez on one side and Jeremy Frimpong on the other. They are flying machines as well, so that's going to be a really intriguing battle out wide.
Marquinhos, sporting bright orange boots, thumps the ball into the Liverpool half down this near side where Kerkez hesitates, and the ball is taken off his toes by Désiré Doué. He's kept it in play to the right angle of the penalty area, then played in by Dembele. Liverpool under pressure inside the first 90 seconds of this game. Kerkez caught out there by Doué, which could have been a problem.
Yeah, I think this is the problem for Liverpool. They've got to be really on it from the get-go, because Paris, the slightest error, they can turn into a goal. They've got so many players who have physical gifts, but they're so smart as well. They read the game so beautifully.
In particular, the man on the ball now, Vitinha, who touches it back to Warren Zaïre-Emery. Paris forced back into their own half, and then down that far side, it's lifted forward by Nuno Mendes. Kvaratskhelia to the dead ball line, keeps it in play on the edge of the penalty area, back towards the edge of the box. Shot comes in towards goal, and before it can reach Mamardashvili, it's deflected over for the first corner of the game.
We've got a goal already in Madrid, and it's gone to Barcelona. Lamine Yamal with the goal as well. A beautiful Ferran Torres through ball, set him up beautifully to slot past Joan Musso in the Atleti goal, and he'd had an early sighter early on as well. Barcelona have started this game on fire. 1-0 they lead on the night, 2-1 down on aggregate.
Paris Saint-Germain have taken a short corner, which comes out to just outside the area. Vitinha speculatively hits it towards goal, bounces back off a Liverpool player to the far side of the field. The Paris left. Now to the edge of the box. Kvaratskhelia tries, and his Georgian compatriot Giorgi Mamardashvili takes it at the second attempt and immediately distributes it downfield. Liverpool very direct to try and catch out Paris, who had been on the attack, and now it's Achraf Hakimi putting pressure on Kerkez. It's been a lively start. 3.5 minutes played. Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0.
Really good start by Paris. They're getting men forwards in numbers. They're shooting on sight. They know they can try and test Mamardashvili from range. If anybody knows Mamardashvili, it's Kvaratskhelia, because of course every international break with Georgia they'll be coming up against each other in training, and Kvaratskhelia up against Frimpong. Really interesting matchup. Frimpong needs some help on that side against him, no doubt about that.
Socks rolled down as ever for Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. 8 goals in the UEFA Champions League this season. He's scored 5 goals in the knockout stages alone, including that terrific finish in the first leg. Mamardashvili long again down centre field, easily dealt with by Marquinhos. Kerkez then Gets stuck in on Ashraf Hakimi on the near touchline. He seems very up for this one, Milos Kerkez.
Yeah, he does, and this is what Liverpool have to try and do. They have to try and press high if they can, but they have to press as a unit. If they go in ones and twos, that's when it starts to open up those spaces for Paris to play through them. The challenge for Liverpool tonight, can they have a bit more possession than they had last week?
Ball has fallen out to that far side on the edge of the Paris penalty area for Ekitike. Cuts infield. He's got a man square, decides to use the outside of his right boot to cross it. That cross is blocked, and now Liverpool start again from the far side with Jeremy Frimpong into Ekitike. Just about 10 metres outside the Paris penalty area on the Liverpool right. That's the far side as we look, but they're forced back by Paris all the way to Mamardashvili, who plays it short to Van Dijk, to the halfway line now. Liverpool being very careful and patient, not hurried. Frimpong, far side of the field, heading towards the corner of the penalty area. Frimpong lays it down the right channel. Cross comes in from Florian Wirtz, goes off a defender, and it's a corner kick to Liverpool.
Yeah, good rotations there from Liverpool. Just got Wirtz in on the inside right channel of the penalty area, and they had Isak and Ekitike waiting for that cross. There's a lot of rotation, a lot of fluidity in this Liverpool attack so far, and that's encouraging for them. That's the only way, really, they're going to open up these spaces in the Paris rearguard.
As the rain falls on Anfield, we've had 6 minutes play in this second leg of a quarter-final of the UEFA Champions League. Liverpool trailing 2-0 from the first leg, have a right-wing corner, which is swung in by Szoboszlai and headed in towards goal by Isak. Good direction, but not enough power. And Liverpool have no time to rest because Paris have immediately sent it forward, and it's gone all the way through to Mamardashvili, who clears down this near side, the left.
Yeah, tough one for Isak there, slightly behind him. He's just trying to generate as much power on it as he can. But that'll be a good early boost for him, an effort on target. Liverpool, of course, didn't manage that last week, so to get one so early will give them a bit of a fillip. But they need to try and string these passes together. It's so difficult against the Paris team that presses so well.
Ekitike doing good work down the right. Eventually, though, he comes into trouble, and it's dealt with by Paris. Initially, that is. One back by Gravenberg. Down the right side, skips away from a couple of challenges, forced to go back down the Liverpool right. It's the far side of the field. Frimpong attempting to go around the outside of Zaire Emery. They're having to really be clever here to cut their way through the Paris defence, and in the end it's another long ball from Mamardashvili, which this one is totally ineffective.
Now, it's interesting, we thought, Mike, that it might be that classic Liverpool 4-2-3-1 that they've employed for much of the season, but we are actually seeing, when they're in possession, we're seeing Isak and Ekitike as a front two, so they are going for it in that regard.
Let's bring you an update with what's happening in Madrid. Barcelona's still a goal up on the night, but they still are 2-1 down to Atleti. But it's end-to-end in this game. Dani Olmo's just had a chance to extend Barcelona's lead on the night. But then right up the other end, Atleti attack, and then Ademola Lookman just misses out on the opportunity to get onto the end of a cross. So end-to-end, 1-0 Barcelona are ahead this evening, but they're 2-1 down on aggregate.
Liverpool still trailed 2-0 on aggregate after 8 minutes at Anfield. The ball is in central midfield with João Neves. Goes short to his left to find Zaire Emery. Now Kvaratskhelia back down the line. This time it's Paris who are taking their time and waiting for an opening. Vitinha and Nuno Mendes exchange passes, and eventually it goes back out to that far side, the left. Distinctive with those socks rolled down is Kvaratskhelia. Zaire Emery. In the end, Doué is swamped by red shirts. Liverpool play it down centre field, which was the crowded area of the field, meaning that Paris have it back again. Near side with Hakimi. Arne Slot is literally bouncing along his technical area like a jack in the box. Watching on intently. He believes his team are capable of turning this tie around. But they're going to need the full support of the crowd. Paris, though, are in here. Zaire Emery. Good Defensive work by Mamardashvili, but he's off his line, and then he punches away as he's backtracking towards his goal line. He does extremely well. Back come Paris again, out from Konate. Doué on the edge of the area. Someone needs to get the ball down. It's now at the feet of Vitinha, midway inside the Liverpool half. We'll talk about that double stop from Mamardashvili in a moment as Kvaratskhelia, left-hand angle of the penalty area, taking on Frimpong. Square to Vitinha, and then further towards this, the Paris right with Marquinhos to the corner of the penalty area on this side. Doué trying to skip between Wirtz and Kerkez, doesn't succeed, and now Wirtz needs some help to get the ball down this near side. Kevin, what about that? Mamardashvili coming out to save, and then, oh, hold on a second, Liverpool might be able to break here. In the end, though, Paris tidy up. Mamardashvili came out to block, and then on the way back to goal, he had to punch the ball off literally 2 or 3 meters from his line.
I thought he did brilliantly, because it all starts because Frimpong gets drawn forward trying to press. He's not sure whether to press or to stay. He ends up getting caught in between the two and gets bypassed completely. If Mamardashvili doesn't come out and make that initial block, it could so easily have been the opening goal. And then goalkeepers work on this all the time. You make the first save, you get up immediately. Didn't really know where he was in terms of where the goal was behind him, but he was able to improvise and punch away the second effort. But that's an alarm bell for Liverpool, because if in those wide areas the fullbacks get drawn forward, so much space in behind them.
The key there was that Mamardashvili was still facing upfield. If he'd have turned around and ran back towards goal and not looked back, he could have found himself in real trouble. But as it is, it remains Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0, 11 minutes played. UEFA Champions League match day live at Anfield. Liverpool need to score twice. That's a bare minimum. Forward by Marquinhos into no man's land, and it's going to be picked off by Mamardashvili. Remember, if Liverpool were to come back, if this game was to be level after 90 minutes, we would have extra time, and there's always the possibility of penalties, which was the case when these two met in the round of 16 last season, when Liverpool won 1-0.
Liverpool do Molina.
Without reply. That's what Liverpool are up against in this Champions League quarter-final second leg. Szoboszlai to this near side for McAllister. Wirtz, who's dropped out to the wing, gets some support from the Argentine. McAllister tries to go back to Kerkez. It eludes him, but is picked off by Van Dijk. And now Liverpool can build with Konate in the centre circle. Switching flanks now to the right side, where Frimpong goes infield to Ekitike. Pass goes via a boot of a Paris player. Ekitike just outside the D, manoeuvring for space. There isn't a lot of it, but Liverpool work it out wide to the right. Frimpong takes a touch, crosses in too deep, but it'll be collected by Kerkez on this near side. Outside the penalty area, but deep in Paris territory. Kerkez twisting his way round Achraf Hakimi, and in the end, though, the cross is far too straightforward for Matvei Safonov.
See, the idea is laudable in the sense that Liverpool are getting lots of red shirts in the Paris penalty area, but the quality from wide has to be better. And what they also need to do, Florian Wirtz is a wonderful, wonderful footballer, but he needs runners around him, he needs combinations. That's going to be the key for Liverpool. Can you get him in areas between the lines, so between the defensive and midfield line, those pockets of space, can you get him in there and can you get runners around him?
There's little margin for error here on Liverpool's part. Paris, though, making a comfortable, competent start as Vitinha collects it on this near side there right. Hakimi tried to skip his way down the right wing without success. And now Liverpool win it back. Good work by Wirtz, who's got it and tucks it infield to find McAllister. Time and space to look up. He's got Frimpong to his right, decides to change direction when it actually opened up for him. But he has been fouled and Liverpool have a free kick. I think he's got away with one there.
Yeah, he has. There was a chance to play that nice and early. I'm not quite sure whether he was trying to draw the man first and then find Frimpong, but actually he didn't need to do that because Frimpong had gone really wide to open up that space for him. So there was an opportunity. But we say this, Mike, there's a big list of things Liverpool have to do tonight, but you're up against the European champions. This is the gold standard, so it's whether Liverpool can get up and match that tonight in a way that Arne Slot admitted they couldn't last week.
Free kick just inside the Paris half, sent forward and then swung into the penalty area by Szoboszlai to the far side, nodded down by Van Dijk. Gravenberch volleys, punched away by Safonov. Konate heads it back in, but this time it's easy for the Russian goalkeeper to claim in the air. But it was a troublesome ball in. It wasn't particularly intended for anyone, it was just speculative.
Yeah, I think that's quite encouraging for Liverpool though, because Van Dijk won the initial header and that's what caused the problem. It just didn't come down for Gravenberch. He tried to volley it goalwards, but good set play.
Paris have taken a quick throw in deep in Liverpool territory. They're into the area. Kvaratskhelia lays it off. It's brought down by João Neves onto his left foot for Dembele, who similarly to the first leg puts the ball over the crossbar from a fairly close range.
Yeah, it's a massive chance, and this is all about Paris being switched on. And João Neves is so technically gifted. He takes it on his chest, plays it perfectly into the path of Dembele, who lets it bounce. He just can't quite get over the top of it. It's a big, big chance there. But João Neves is so good in those situations. Roger Schmidt, who was his coach at Benfica, said to him once, how are you so good in those situations? And he said it was because he played a lot of beach football and you can't let the ball drop to the sand, so you have to keep it up, and that is why he's so good in those tight situations.
Liverpool escaping there. That was a really good opportunity for Ousmane Dembele. But Liverpool on the attack now. Ekitike switched to this near side, the Liverpool left. Fair bit of fluid movement from Ekitike in particular, dropping into pockets in midfield, now moving out to the left. But they've given away possession, and Liverpool cannot afford to do that, especially when Paris can set Dembele away down the far side of the field. Kvaratskhelia making one of his incisive runs through the middle. He did it for the goal last week. Went running in inside left position to pick up the pass before weaving his way like a slalom skier into the penalty area and then finishing.
I think one of the things that Paris are looking to do is get in behind Jeremy Frimpong on that Liverpool right all the time. Frimpong, if you look at most of his career, he's played as a wing-back. He was exceptional for Bayer Leverkusen in that role. As a conventional full-back, it's a bit different, and they're trying to get in behind him all the time.
Pretty much all of Paris's play from deep is being pushed out towards that left side for that very reason. Now, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia is down, rolling around, clutching his face after a challenge from Virgil van Dijk. He's got his hand over his mouth. He's got his other hand on the back of his head. He was trying to get away from Frimpong, and then Van Dijk stepped in and rather clumsily caught him in the face. There wasn't any intent. It was just a coming together of three players, and the Georgian came off worse.
Yeah, when he moves into the contact, the back of his hand just flicks up as they come together, and it catches Kvaratskhelia in the face. There's no big swing from Van Dijk or anything like that. It's accidental, but it doesn't make it any less painful.
Free kick then for Paris. Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Paris lead 2-0 on aggregate. We've had 19 minutes of the second leg of this UEFA Champions League quarter-final. UEFA Champions League match day live as Marquinhos, the Paris captain, plays it down this right flank for João Neves, gets the touch off Kirkes for the Paris throw.
See, they're the moments where I think Arne Slot will want 10% more from his forward players, because they're moving forward in numbers, they're pressing, they're not quite getting there. It's not quite 100% sprint. And I think that's what they just need a little bit more of, just that final run, because it's difficult, because you don't want to fully commit, you don't want to dive in and be suddenly out of the game, but they just need to up it a little bit to make Paris play a bit more quickly.
Paris look, as far as 0-0 goes, they look relatively comfortable at the moment.
At the moment, yeah. I mean, Liverpool have had a few bursts into the box. They had that Isak header, and Liverpool haven't given up an early goal, which could have done real damage. But Paris haven't looked discomforted so far. They haven't looked overwhelmed. And how many times have we seen at Anfield on European nights, Liverpool in the first 20 minutes get the crowd involved, have all of that intensity? It hasn't quite been that way so far.
I must say I'm surprised. I thought that would be the case, given the work they need to do. Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. We'll get an update from Madrid in a moment. There's been another goal in the Atleti Barcelona game, and it's a big goal as well. In the meantime, Achraf Hakimi down this near side, the Paris right, to Desiré Doué, just on the corner of the penalty area. Now João Neves in a deep line position. Switches it into centre field. And played across by Willian Pacho to the far side with Vitinha. They're playing this really smoothly. There's no major urgency, no hurry from Paris Saint-Germain. Quite comfortable just to knock the ball around.
This is what they love to do under Luis Enrique, the control games. They're so comfortable in possession. They know where everybody else is going to be. This is what they train time and time again. And it was the same with Luis Enrique's Spain team, you might remember. You know, they were so comfortable in possession.
Szoboszlai back towards Virgil van Dijk, which gives us a chance to break away. Natalie.
Oh, it's all to play for in Madrid. Barcelona 2-0 up now this evening.
Liverpool coming forward, though. Here's Alexander Isak. He's got the ball past Sapunov, but there wasn't enough pace on it. Offside anyway, but the best chance Liverpool have had, albeit Isak was off. It certainly lifted the crowd. It was a through ball from Gravenberch. Isak was offside, Kevin.
Yeah, he does get a touch, Sapunov, but as you say, just goes a tiny bit too early in his offside.
Let's take you back then to Madrid, shall we, where I was just bringing you that Barcelona now 2-0 up. It's 2-2 on aggregate. Ferran Torres has scored their second, and it was a lovely work goal as well, with Dani Olmo slipping Torres through, who then chipped the keeper for the second this evening. And not long before, it has to be said, that Griezmann had a wonderful chance to score for Atleti, but he wasn't able to do it in the end. But it's kind of what we expected, Kevin, from Barcelona, to just be full throttle.
Yeah, and we talked about that team selection before the kickoff and how it was all about movement and invention, and that's exactly what we saw with the second goal, because Dani Olmo slips the ball through beautifully, and it's a great finish from Ferran Torres. Wonderful Barcelona goal.
At Anfield, it remains Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Not quite the drama that they're experiencing in Madrid, as Vitinha inside the centre circle with his dark locks flowing behind him as he runs crossfield. Now it goes all the way back to Pacho, to the far side, to Kvaratskhelia, who's dropped deep, but Paris rather loose with their passing. It requires Pacho to try and cover Frimpong's threat, and in the end it is a Paris throw.
I feel for Frimpong, because what he's trying to do is he's trying to be that outlet down the right when they're on the attack. But if Liverpool lose it, he's got a hell of a long way to go to get back into his defensive station. So he's always a willing runner. He's always so committed, Jeremy Frimpong, and he has lightning pace. So they're trying to make the most of that, but there are going to be a lot of shuttle runs for him over the next hour or so.
A lot of the players on this pitch would be pretty good in a sprint, a 100-metre sprint.
Yeah, if this suddenly turned into the Olympics halfway through, I think we'd have quite a few decent races.
Paris have it. Down that far side there, left. Kvaratskhelia wins the throw-in, and then picks up the throw from Zaire Emery. Back it goes to Pacho. Paris in no hurry whatsoever. They are in control of the tie, and they look very composed as Marquinhos goes long down this right side. Dembele will collect. Up against Kirkes. Oh, he sends it into the penalty area. The ball coming straight to the feet. I'm not sure who it was coming in from that far side of the field. Wasn't Kvarat scared. I think it was Doué who couldn't bring the ball down, but still Paris have it inside the Liverpool box. João Neves putting pressure on Frimpong. In the end, it's a free kick Liverpool's way, but I have to say, Kevin, there are several gaps opening up in the Liverpool defence.
The rotation's crazy for Paris because you've got Dembele just moving out really comfortably out to that right-hand side. He's got Vitinha right next to him. So you've got centre-forward, centre midfielder, both playing on the right-hand side. Then you've got Doué making this run in. He's supposed to be the right winger, but he turns up in the inside left channel of the penalty area. Nobody does it quite like them in terms of having everyone who can play every position and move into different spaces. Luis Enrique said, if I had my way, I'd have 20 players who could play every position on the pitch outfield. And that's kind of what they're getting towards.
Well, they'd win the Champions League every year if they did that.
I mean, that's what they're working towards. You know, look at somebody like Zaire Emery, who's in midfield. He's played a fair bit of right back for them. And he's, you know, a young player still learning his trade. But that's what they're trying to drill into these players all the time. Yes, you're a midfielder, but I want you here, I want you here, I want you here. And they're all so comfortable with it. It's phenomenal coaching, it really is.
The holders of the UEFA Champions League leading 2-0 on aggregate, 0-0 on the night. We've had almost 26 minutes play at Anfield. Liverpool need a breakthrough. Here's Wirtz up towards the Paris penalty area, but referee has spotted something further back. It wasn't an offside. Anna Slot is looking towards Mauricio Mariani to ask why he's stopped the game. Seems a bit confused. Foul throw potentially, or had the ball gone out of play? But I think the ball has just swung out of play as it clipped the foot of Florian Wirtz. Arne Slot was about to volley it himself.
Yeah, see, it curved out, as you say, and Arne Slot thought it was coming his way. So, you know, even he was fooled by that.
Liverpool have it. Gravenberch trying to play it forward. Hakimi steps in. They look so comfortable on the ball, as Kevin was just saying. Paris Saint-Germain. But they have been unable to hold on to it there, and Szoboszlai goes through to Ekitike, who falls as he tries to run towards the ball and stays down for the moment. Doué on this near side taking on Kirkes. He fouls the Hungarian, and it's going to be a Liverpool free kick, and they want to get on with it. Szoboszlai from Van Dijk's quick free kick, but I tell you what, this is not a good sign. Hugo Ekitike wasn't in touch with the ball. He ran towards it and immediately pulled up. And he's in a fair bit of distress at the moment. It's to do with his right leg. I'm not sure what he's done, but it doesn't look good.
There was a coming together with him and Pacho a few moments ago, and I just wonder if that jarred him a little bit. And then the first time he's really sprinted, something has hurt him there. And I wonder if that was related to the previous clash, but he doesn't look happy at all. He's just saying that there was that coming together with Pacho. He's just made that kind of clapping motion. And it's the first time that he really went for the ball. And actually, maybe they didn't even come together. Pacho started coming towards him. Actually, more worryingly, he went down before Pacho even got there.
I think he may have broken his leg down at the foot or his ankle, because the replay shows that it was quite a nasty turn on his on his right foot. And he was attended to very quickly by Paris players, in addition to the Liverpool players. So at the moment, he's being treated. The stretch has been brought out. It's unlikely. It's not at all likely that Hugo Ekitike will continue here. He's going to be stretchered off. Liverpool are going to have to make a change, and it's going to be Mo Salah who's going to come on in his place. Yeah, Natalie, just update us on what's happening in Madrid.
Well, it's all happening in Madrid because Atleti now are on the score sheet, and it was a fine break by them as well when Marcos Llorente then squared the ball from the onrushing Ademola Lookman, who had to finish, and he did. It means Barcelona lead 2-1 on the night, but Atleti are 3-2 up on aggregate. It is all go here in Madrid.
Mo Salah's just jogging up and down the touchline to keep warm before he is introduced. In the meantime, Hugo Ekitike, very unfortunate, has suffered what looks like a serious injury, and he will be stretchered off in the first half of this game. So an early introduction for Mo Salah. I guess if you're going to lose a player in those circumstances, at least you can bring on someone of his pedigree.
Yeah, and obviously we hope Hugo Ekitike will make a really speedy recovery. As I say, it was a very unusual incident, because when he first looked at it, it looked as though the two players had come together. It was only when you saw that replay, or certainly only when I saw it second time around, that you realised that actually Pacho hadn't got there and that he'd gone down ahead of that. And so he's being warmly applauded here. And obviously, whenever there's an injury at this stage of the season, you start thinking about the World Cup and what have you. So hopefully he's going to be back as soon as possible. He's been such a big player for Liverpool this season, coming up against his former club. But as you say, it's a bit of a luxury to be able to bring a player of Mo Salah's quality into a game like this.
In the pouring rain of Anfield, Hugo Ekitike leaves the field, and Mohamed Salah, in his final season for Liverpool, comes on. And so often he's been a game changer, a match winner, and they could do with him being that tonight, Kevin Hatchard.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do tactically here, whether Salah plays as a central striker alongside Isak. I think that's probably what they will do. So I think some of Salah's more effective performances for Liverpool this season have been in a more central area rather than being out on that right-hand side.
Salah's first touch from the right, swings in a cross, Konate goes in, brilliant save by Safanov, an extraordinary save and a brilliant piece of defending by his captain Marquinhos. How on earth did Liverpool not score?
Well, it's Mo Salah who's heavily involved straight away. They launch it long towards Van Dijk, and that just draws Nuno Mendes in. Konate actually misses his header, and it's Kerkez coming in at the far post who gets the volley on it. Safanov responds brilliantly. He's going the wrong way, gets a touch to it, and as Van Dijk moves in, Marquinhos out of nowhere manages to get the ball clear. Fantastic.
Liverpool corner, Safanov pushes it away to this near side. Kerkez half volleys it back, and to say he's missed the target is an understatement, because he's gone out for a throw on the far side. But wow, brilliant goalkeeping, and what a challenge from Marquinhos when Virgil van Dijk looked destined to score.
Because why it was even better from Safanov was because he would have expected Konate to get ahead on it. And Konate actually misses the ball entirely. And then that brings Kerkez into the picture. He manages to get there on the stretch. It's a great response from Safanov, but that's why Marquinhos has been a world-class defender for years now, because he senses that danger. He's able to make heroic last-ditch challenges like that, because Van Dijk would have been absolutely convinced that he was going to be able to knock that one in.
So they can play the ball around really well, they can attack really well, and they can defend like that.
Doesn't seem fair, does it really? And Safanov, to be fair, you know, there's been a lot of talk about him because Gigio Donnarumma was the goalkeeper last season. He was so good for Paris. He was one of the big reasons why they won the Champions League last season. They brought in Lucas Chevalier from Lille. He was meant to be the first-choice goalkeeper once Donnarumma had left. But actually, Safanov has taken the gloves and he's taken the spot, and it's his to lose at the moment. And that was a fantastic save on a really big night for Paris.
So the score remains 0-0. It's Atleti 1, Barcelona 2 in Madrid. Atleti leading 3-2 on aggregate. Paris lead 2-0 in the tie as Hakimi goes back down the Paris right into the Paris half. Marquinhos sweeps it towards, goodness me, looked to me like Pacho was going to lose possession of the ball right in the middle of the field with no one behind him.
He's so calm though, Pacho. I remember commentating on him a lot in Germany when he was with Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga, and he would get into situations like that, look as though he'd lose it. He'd always come out and he'd, what's all the problem about? What's all the fuss? Everything's fine, don't worry. He's very calm in possession.
33.5 minutes played, Liverpool 0, Paris 0. Paris lead 2-0 on the night.
37 minutes played in Madrid, where Atleti are 3-2 up over the aggregate score, but they're 2-1 down on the night. Barcelona scoring 2 goals inside the first 24 minutes to bring them back into this tie. But Atleti, and through Ademola Lookman, has now, of course, made it 3-2 on aggregate. And Kevin, it's the perfect response from Diego Simeone's side. And Simeone himself, He's living and breathing every touch out there. He's so animated, as you would
Same as always, same
yes.
as every other game he's ever coached, I think. Yeah, but that goal is massive because it just settles the nerves. Because we knew Barcelona were capable of this. We know that they could score multiple goals against anyone. Getting that goal back just swings the pendulum their way.
At Anfield, Liverpool are trying to attack away to our left. Szoboszlai desperately trying to keep possession, but has three black-shirted players around him, and now Paris can break away. Dembele has made a run down the middle. Vitinha didn't make the full contact with the pass, but it actually helped out Dembele because he was able to come back into an onside position.
But again, that's a real encouragement for Paris because Konate got drawn way upfield. There was a massive space in between him and Frimpong.
Paris have it. Right wing, near side as we look. Goes back to João Neves, and now the halfway line. The Liverpool fans are booing the Paris passing so far, but they have to really get behind their own team to get them into this game. Kvaratskhelia from the left, cuts infield, right-footed shot. It strikes Konate and arcs out for a corner.
Yeah, I think that's the concern, I think, for Liverpool. When they press high, there are big gaps opening up, and against Paris it's very, very difficult then because they're so adept at playing into those gaps. So it's risk-reward for Liverpool. They've got to go for it. They've got to try and get back into the game. They can't just let Paris dictate, but once you open up against them, that opens up spaces.
Corner taken short. It's over on the far side of the field, the Paris left. The ball into the air is cut out by Salah. And then Liverpool, through Wirtz, prod it forward. But then Frimpong's loose ball has allowed Paris to come back at Liverpool down the far side. Doué bearing down on Kerkez. Kerkez tight to the Paris player, who's desperately trying to manoeuvre for space. Wonderful touch inside. Cross comes in from Zaire Emery, away by Virgil van Dijk. Vitinha will now collect for Paris. Liverpool can't make the ball stick.
Yeah, it's really difficult at the moment because you have to play through that Paris press and you have to be pretty much perfect to keep possession. They're so adept out of possession. So Liverpool are finding it difficult to progress the ball.
Hakimi now, right wing for Paris, away to our right. Vitinha goes back to his captain Marquinhos. Played forward down the far side this time. Doué, he looks so comfortable on the ball. Paris Saint-Germain, there's a run from Vitinha inside left channel, which hasn't been spotted. Now he's picked the ball up just inside the Liverpool half. It's gone all the way back to Pacho. Paris have had 61% of the possession at Anfield.
Yeah, this was always the challenge for Liverpool. Could they have more of the ball? Could they have control? And they haven't been able to have that so far. Salah has gone out to that traditional right-wing role, and they've kind of put McAllister as a second striker with Szoboszlai a little bit deeper. I just wonder if Liverpool could switch that around a little bit more, actually, and have Szoboszlai as the 10, because I think he's a more aggressive presser. He can obviously shoot from range, we know that. I just wonder from Liverpool's point of view whether they might look to switch that round. Looks as though Luka Hernandez is going to come on for Paris, which is interesting.
Nuno Mendes has just pulled up. I don't know whether it's a hamstring problem, but he's now slowly walking towards the touchline. So like Liverpool had to do around about 8 minutes ago, Paris have got to make a change now. Nuno Mendes off, Luka Hernandez coming on in his place. So a change of pace with 7 minutes left of the first half. It's 0-0 in the pouring rain of Liverpool, who trailed 2-0 in the tie.
So that's interesting, because the way it changes it for Paris is, yes, you don't get Nuno Mendes' explosive running from left-back, but what you get is somebody in Hernandez who has played a lot of centre-back, and so he can tuck in, and you'll see Hakimi making more and more of those runs down the right-hand side, because he could just tuck in with Pacho, with Marquinhos, and just make that 3 coming forward.
Feels like a little bit of a lull towards the end of this first half. A half of few chances so far. Liverpool having the best of them. 2 opportunities in the same phase of play, and if it hadn't been for Safanov and Marquinhos, Liverpool would have been a goal to the good. Gravenberg from just outside his own area plays it to the halfway line. Salah down the right wing, far side as we look. Wirtz, he's got Kerkez coming in from the far side. Here comes Salah. He's on his right foot, wants to get on his left. Plays it outside the area, out on the far side. Wirtz back down the line for Mo Salah, Kvaratskhelia steps in, can't keep the ball in play, having made the tackle. Liverpool have a corner.
And that was better because that all started with a line-breaking pass from Gravenberch. He took about 3 players out with that pass, and that got Liverpool moving. That's what you have to do against Paris. You have to try and draw the man and find a way through. Punch those passes through the lines if you can. And Liverpool have shown when they do that, they can cause some problems.
It'll be an in-swinging corner from Liverpool's right. Delivered by the left foot of Mo Salah, driven in low to the near post. Vitinha comfortably away, but straight back to Mohamed Salah. Now Gravenberch from the right-hand angle of the area goes round the outside. Gravenberch tries to play it in, couldn't find a red-shirted player. It's away by João Neves, and now Paris on the counter down the far side with Doué, but he needs support. Being manhandled by Dominic Szoboszlai. Referee was right there, but he plays the advantage. And Paris have it. They stifled Liverpool straight away. It wasn't the best of corners from Salah.
No, it wasn't, and they were in trouble there until Szoboszlai was able to get back. I thought he did brilliantly, actually, to get back. I know that he probably manhandled him at the end, but what he did, which was key, was he slowed him down. And that's what Doué wants to do. He wants to race forward. He wants to get into those dangerous areas. Szoboszlai did a really good job, but if you commit everybody to the corner and you hit the first man, it's the age-old rule in football. You're going to be in big trouble on the counter-attack, aren't you?
Just under 5 minutes of normal time at the end of this first half. We will have some added time due to the injury to Ekitike. Here comes Kvaratskhelia for Paris. Infield, heading towards the left-hand angle of the penalty area. And as Kvaratskhelia tries to pick up a ball that was just behind him, he stumbles comedically just outside the area. He's back on his feet now, and Paris still have the ball, and they've worked it really nicely. They're coming infield now. Hakimi in the centre field, down this right flank for Ousmane Dembele, who himself had a good chance early on. Clipped in by Vitinha, who I think was trying to be cute and chip Mamardashvili. I mean, good luck.
It's not a bad idea, though. I mean, you look at the opening goal last week, and Mamardashvili was slightly off his line. He was caught out by the deflection. He's just tried to lift that into the top corner. He just doesn't get the elevation. I think the idea is right, but it's just the execution that lets him down a bit. But I have to say, there are gaps opening up in those full-back areas all the time. If Paris can find the right passes, they'll be able to get players in, because Liverpool have to do that. They have to commit Kerkez and Frimpong forward, but you've effectively just got the 2 centre-backs, and that's it. So it's about Paris just being a bit calmer, finding those spaces, because that ball is on all the time.
But it's Liverpool who are attacking away to our left with Mo Salah. Unfortunately, couldn't keep it in Liverpool's possession, and it's won back by Doué. And then, for the second time in as many minutes, the ball is played behind Kavicha Kvaratskhelia and then lofted forward down the far side of the field, the Paris left. Konate, I thought he was going to go back to his goalkeeper under pressure from Doué, but in the end, he does so, having got out of trouble. It's still Atleti 1, Barcelona 2 in Madrid. Atleti leading 3-2 on aggregate. Remember, these are quarter-final second legs of the UEFA Champions League. Paris looking to extend their lead in the tie. Here's Hakimi in the area. Squared it in. Away by Liverpool. Konate came across to cover, but a real threat from Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, it's good defending again. Dembele coming in off that right-hand side, finds Vitinha. It's a really well-timed run by Hakimi. He's trying to just drive that into Dembele.
Ball has been put out of play for a Liverpool goal kick. Vitinha was trying to cross it in from the right side. Couple of minutes left of normal time at the end of the first half. Remember, the winners of this tie will play either Bayern München or Real Madrid in the semi-finals. There's been a stumble by a Liverpool player on the far side of the field. Paris have it in Liverpool territory. To the left-hand angle of the box, Kvaratskhelia up against Frimpong. He goes to the dead ball line, clips it in. Mamardashvili punches. Dembele with the rebound, but he didn't really connect cleanly, and he side foots it into the side netting. Liverpool 0, Paris 0.
Barcelona still 2-1 up on the night at Atleti, but it is the hosts who are 3-2 up on aggregate, and we are into added on time. 4 minutes of added on time, and we're just getting into the second minute of that as well. So it's so far so good for Diego Simeone's side, who, as it stands, are going through to the last 4 due to that 3-2 aggregate lead.
Ball is played long, away to the left. Final minute of the half as Hakimi goes back to his goalkeeper, Safanov. Good pressure from Isak and also Vets, meaning that Liverpool have possession on the halfway line with Kerkez. Great control by the Hungarian, but the ball forward. Oh, it's fallen loose for Salah, who's gone down. No free kick. The referee thought it was just a general coming together. And now Paris on the counter. Doué is onside, and he's got Dembele square. He goes for goal, and it goes into the side netting. He looked clearly offside. I think the flag has gone up in the end.
Gone up now.
Yeah, it's gone up in the end. I was waiting for it, but he didn't find the target anyway.
Yeah, he just bends the run. Actually, it's close, you know, because Kerkez is late getting out, and there's only two of them back there. There's only Van Dijk and Kerkez. Just going back to that Salah-Pacho moment, it is a coming together. Pacho just steps across him. There's an argument to say that it's shoulder to shoulder. Salah just couldn't burst onto that loose ball in time.
The rain is getting heavier and heavier as we move into the first minute of 4 additional minutes at the end of this first half. Still goalless. Paris have a 2-goal advantage. Both teams have had to make substitutions. And Paris's throw-in goes down the far side there, left. Kvaratskhelia trying to loft it over the head of Konate, who defends it really well. Played into midfield for McAllister. Down the right wing, Verts, early ball looking towards Isak and Salah. Cut out by Paris. McAllister immediately puts João Neves under pressure and then mistimes the challenge and takes out João Neves. The referee has not hesitated in giving out his first yellow card of the game, and it means that if Liverpool were to get through to the semi-finals, Alexis McAllister will not play in the first leg.
Yeah, he's already committed to the challenge. João Neves sees him coming. He knows exactly what to do. Just knocks that ball away from him. He knows the contact's coming. Smart play from João Neves. And Alexis McAllister just over-committed to the challenge. But Liverpool are still alive in this tie. Paris are finding gaps. They haven't made best use of them so far. Be really interested to see what Arne Slot does at half-time, because he's got young Rio and Gamoa on the bench. When will he introduce him? And of course, they were only going to ask Isak to do 45 minutes. Now that Ekitike's gone off with injury, does that change?
He hasn't seen a great deal of the ball, Alexander Isak, in this first half. But like you say, could he come out for the second? Could they go with Federico Chiesa even?
I think they need to find a way of getting Florian Wirtz on the ball more. I think there have been some nice touches from him, but they're just not quite getting him in areas where he can hurt Paris. He's not able to combine with players around him. He's so talented, but it's just about getting him into those dangerous areas. But that's easier said than done when the opposition have more possession than you, and they're as calm in possession as they are, because they make it so tough for you.
And they defended so well to deny Liverpool an opener. Paris try to come forward. Zaï-Emery's pass is too soft, and then Doué fouls Szoboszlai. Liverpool have got 90 seconds or so to try and get something before the break, but the pass is a loose one. It's too strong for Szoboszlai. Then, weirdly, it's played up towards their own defence by Paris, and a Liverpool player unexpectedly offside. Natalie, it's half-time in Madrid.
It is half-time, and Barcelona are 2-1 on the night. They raced into a 2-0 lead, but Ademola Lookman's goal just after the half-hour mark means that they are 3-2 up at Leti on aggregate. So another 45 minutes to come in Madrid, and it has been breathless and end-to-end, it has to be said.
As us English like to say, it's absolutely chucking it down at Anfield now. It was fairly light rain to begin with, but as the half has gone on, it's gone heavier and heavier. And Arne Slot is now pretty wet in his technical area, but he'll be more focused on what his team are doing as they try to come forward again. Pacho heads it away. Final 30 seconds or so of the first half. Paris have a player down as they try to attack. Cleared away to Szoboszlai. It's not a head injury, so the referee is not obliged to stop play. Verts under a lot of pressure from Kvaratskhelia. And then Konate thumps it forward. It's backed by Marquinhos. No one really able to get the ball under control until Szoboszlai finds Verts. Probably the last chance of the first half if Liverpool can get forward. And then uncharacteristically, it's a misplaced ball from Salah, which allows Paris to come forward. Liverpool have got to be careful here. Paris threatening. We've had the 4 minutes. Dembele just outside the area on the left. They're not going to get time to get it into the box because the referee has to whistle to his mouth and brings an end to a first half where we've not seen a goal, but we have seen some terrific defending by Paris Saint-Germain to deny both Milos Kerkez and Virgil van Dijk. Safonov made the save. Marquinhos then blocked the rebound. Liverpool lost Hugo Ekitike just a few minutes before that to what looked like a very serious injury. Paris also had to make a change, taking off Mendes and bringing on Hernandez. Aside from that, no clear-cut chances. Liverpool 0, Paris 0 on the night. Paris lead 2-0 on aggregate.
Spaces in behind them. Frimpong is like doing shuttle runs like we used to do at school. Just up and down, and like big spaces in behind him.
Gomez is coming on for Frimpong, and you pointed out in that first half, Kevin, that they looked, Paris, to try and exploit that position where Frimpong was playing at right back.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's concerned about. I think Frimpong, because he's so naturally attack-minded, because he wants to get forward all the time, he therefore can get caught upfield, and Paris can catch you time and time again. So I think that's why he's done that, just to lock down that side. I don't think it's necessarily anything again. I mean, Frimpong may have a knock for all we know, but if it is tactical, I think it is just Gomez is a more natural defender, and that's what they're trying to do. As for Gakpo, it's exactly what he said. Isak can give us 45 minutes, so Cody Gakpo, I suspect, will play through the middle.
Liverpool are going to get the second half underway once referee Maurizio Mariani blows his whistle. We're awaiting, and finally we get it. And Liverpool in all red, attacking the Kop away to our right. And already attacking just on the edge of the penalty area, near side as we look there, right away to our, kept in play by Salah. Played out to Szoboszlai, who drills it into the far post. And in the end, Marquinhos, it bounces off Marquinhos into the arms of his goalkeeper.
Mike, what a cross. What an extraordinary cross from Szoboszlai. It was begging to be attacked, and it's really difficult to defend that quality of delivery. And I think that's what Liverpool will want, really. They'll want to get Szoboszlai a bit further forward at times, but Gakpo involved straight away. He's moved into the centre of that attack, it seems. They've moved Wirtz out towards the left-hand side, Salah out towards the right. So that's the way they've gone, putting Cody Gakpo at the front and centre of that attack. And again, just having McAllister as the furthest midfielder forward.
Just to point out, it is still raining heavily at Anfield as Matvei Safonov puts his free kick straight into touch on the far side. Liverpool certainly looked like they had some kind of gumption and intent at the start of this second half. They've been G'd up by their head coach, Arne Slot, and they need to, because they've only got 45 minutes to score 2 goals, at least 2 goals. That's assuming they can keep Paris out. They're going to go for it now. They look a bit more positive in the way they're coming forward straight away. Wirtz trying to find the far side of the field where Gomez is waiting. Near side as we look, it comes to Salah. Salah waiting for some support down the line. In the end goes square and infield. Szoboszlai being urged to shoot by the fans. Plays it to the left, far side as we look. Now Gravenberch, just outside the area. He's got Doué for company and support from Kerkez. The pass brilliantly cut out by Desiree Doué, and then Szoboszlai does his defensive duties, and literally Doué goes clashing. You may have even heard it on the effects mics, crashing into an effects mic on the far side, and is now laying in front of the electronic hoarding. And Liverpool are attacking down this near side. Salah chips the ball in all the way through. Gakpo can't turn though at close range, and it's gone out of play for a Paris goal kick. But Desiree Doué is still down off the field after that coming together with Dominic Szoboszlai.
It was a painful landing because Doué has all the momentum, and he just not only clashes with the microphone, as you quite rightly say, he also just collides with a ball boy as well, just down there. So Doué hopefully is okay. It was an awkward landing because he was running full pelt to try and lead Paris on the counter-attack. And Szoboszlai, in trying to get back to him, all the momentum went into that fall. It was a tough one. Just at the other end, Mike, I think what we've seen already, seen Mo Salah come in off that right-hand side and whip the ball in towards goal. Liverpool need him to do that more, because that's a nightmare for a goalkeeper in wet conditions, have the ball come in like that.
Here's Gakpo, shoots towards goal, trying to make use of the slippery surface. Safonov gets down low to his left, and at his left-hand post, he pushes it out for a corner.
That's a really good effort by Gakpo, because it's going just inside that near post. Safonov takes a little while to get down, but once he does, it's a good solid hand to send that ball around the post.
And because Doué was injured off the field, they're down to 10, Paris, as Salah takes the corner to the near post. Up goes Joe Gomez, the substitute, but a bit too much purchase on the header.
Yeah, it's a good ball in, but he's just outside the width of the posts. But Safonov came for that and didn't get there. And if there is a weakness to Safonov's game, sometimes he can misjudge that ball in the air. He's a great shot stopper, decent with the ball at his feet, but sometimes when he comes for those crosses, he can misjudge them. But Joe Gomez's wait for a pro goal goes on.
Play resumes with Szoboszlai clearing downfield. Doué's back on the field, incidentally. And he's having to backtrack here. He doesn't look particularly comfortable. He's pulled up again and he's gone down inside the his own half as Liverpool tried to attack. Eventually the ball goes out, but it looks to me like Doué may not be able to continue.
It'd be interesting to see how fit Bradley Barcola is, because he's only just come back from an ankle injury. He'd be the natural change if Doué can't continue. They've got Kang In Lee as well, Seni Maulu. They've got Ibrahim Mbaye as well. Got a fair few options, Paris. It's not a bad squad.
The fact that he's come back on and gone down straight away actually benefits Paris, because they were playing with 10 men. And had he stayed off, they would have had to continue playing with 10 men. He's tried to give it a go, but he could see he couldn't run properly.
Yeah, what's awkward, it's the landing. He lands on his knees. That's the difficult thing. He lands in a really awkward way, and all of the momentum and all of the impact goes right through his knees. So and that's why he's feeling the pain.
All the noise you can hear is coming from the Paris Saint-Germain fans who've arrived at Anfield in their numbers in the pouring rain as Désiré Doué limps towards the touchline very gingerly. It's a problem with his right knee, we can only assume. Szoboszlai comes across, pats him on the head, shakes his hand, but that's not much consolation because Paris have to make another change. They were forced to bringing off Nuno Mendes towards the end of the first half because of injury. And now, again, so all three of those substitutions have been injury-related, and Barcola is, as Kevin said, going to come on.
Let's take you to Madrid. No further goals and no actual personnel change either, but Ademola Lookman just had another opportunity to get on the score sheet. It was Julian Alvarez who had to check his run, put the ball back into Lookman's path, and his shot was deflected, actually, just past the post. But it does mean that Barcelona are still 2-1 up on the night, but critically, Atleti are 3-2 up on aggregate still.
Bradley Barcola comes onto the field and occupies the position that was previously occupied by Doué, and Paris have a throw-in midway inside their own half on their right. That's the far side as we look. Liverpool have made a decent start to this second half.
Yeah, they have. Playing with intensity, getting numbers forwards, and this is what they have to do. I mean, they've stayed in the game, but they've got to start taking more and more risks, and that's where Barcola coming on for Paris could change the game.
Liverpool have it on this near side, their right. Salah gets the return ball. He's into the area. Mo Salah showed a bit too much of it to Pacho, and the defender can clear up this near side, the Paris left. Back come Liverpool again with Konate. Forward to Salah. Pacho will see it out, though, for what he thinks is a goal kick. Liverpool want a corner, and they get a corner.
Yeah, Wirtz and Salah combined really well a few moments ago, but as you quite rightly said, Mike, just a rogue touch, showed too much of it to the defender. But that's what I said in the first half. Wirtz needs runners around him, and he's got a nice click with Salah. When those two combine, play little 1-2s, they can be really dangerous.
Konate, Van Dijk are forward for this corner. Salah from the right goes towards the back post. Safonov launches a fist at it. Goes out to the left. Szoboszlai brings it in, then clips it in. And, well, wasn't on target, and it wasn't a teammate. And Liverpool's pressure comes to an end. But it was a good move prior to that.
It was, and Liverpool need to be a bit more clinical in terms of getting quality ball into the box. We've seen that a few times so far tonight. Just haven't quite managed to get quality crosses into the box, either under hit or over hit. They are getting these attacking positions. They've just got to make a bit more of them.
And they're coming forward again. McAllister trying to push it towards Gakpo. Pacho thumps it into touch. Luis Enrique tried to bring it under control, but it's going to be a throw-in. There's been another goal in Madrid.
Yes, just looking over the replay once more, Barcelona are now 3-1 up on the night. It's a second for Ferran Torres. A lovely strike. They've been a nuisance in the Atleti box for a period of time, and eventually that has paid dividends. So Barcelona now 3-1 up on the evening. 3-3 it is on aggregate. There may well be a VAR check on this one. We'll bring you details of it, but it had to be that Barcelona had to keep going and going and going because they were down on the night following that Ademola Lookman goal, down on aggregate, that is. Crucial that this third goal has gone in potentially for them, Kevin. And it's just the same old for Barcelona. They've just got to keep going.
Yeah, they're going to check it. It looked very tight in terms of offside to me. Ferran Torres looked as though he might have got beyond the last man, but of course that's why we have the technology to check it. But again, really nice combination play in and around the penalty area. That's what Atletico is struggling to deal with at the moment.
At Anfield, it remains Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. 10 minutes played in the second half. Paris leading 2-0 on aggregate as Liverpool are awarded a free kick for a foul by Vitinha on Florian Wirtz. We just saw Ryan Gravenberch, while you were talking about the Atletico game, run forward with a lot of purpose and then launch a shot on the run that he wasn't really in control of the ball. It went way wide.
He's capable, though, from that kind of distance. I think early in the season he was making those runs a lot more often.
Cross from the left for Liverpool, cleared away by Paris.
Confirmation that Ferran Torres' second goal has now been ruled out. VAR confirming he was offside just before he got his shot off. So it's back to Barcelona leading 2-1 on the night. Atleti 3-2 up on aggregate.
Liverpool coming forward in numbers now, down centre field, laid to the right, edge of the area. Salah tries to play it in first time. It's blocked by Lucas Hernandez and cleared down this near side, the Paris left. It's been pretty much all Liverpool at the start of this second half. Paris not been able to get forward at all. Szoboszlai for Gomez on this near side. Liverpool desperately seeking a goal to get an advantage here as Salah plays it towards the back post, and it's swept wide by Milos Kerkez, coming in late, ghosting in late round the back, but he couldn't guide it into that far corner.
Yes, big chance again. It's Salah coming in off that right-hand side. We mentioned it earlier, Mike. That's where he's dangerous, when he can float that ball in towards goal, and Kerkez does really well. He gets round the back of Hakimi, but he's on his weaker right foot, and all he's tried to do is open up his instep and just guide that ball inside the far post. I think if it's on his left foot, maybe he'll be more accurate, but it's a tough chance. He can't quite take it. But again, Salah the architect coming in off the right onto his favoured left foot. That's the route for him, I think.
Paris, a rare surge forward in the second half, but they've overrun the ball down the far side with Bradley Barcola. Liverpool have actually stifled the threat of the likes of Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, well, if you're on the front foot and you've got Paris turned round, it's difficult for them to actually feed the ball to Kvaratskhelia, and they've done a good job so far. I think Gakpo actually coming into that central area, he's helped, he's played with intensity so far, but they've got to keep it going now.
They're winning the tackles in midfield, and they've won possession, and Gravenberch stumbling forward, manages to keep his feet out to this right side. Salah drifts it towards the back post. It's fairly straightforward in the end for Safanov, but it's another threat from Liverpool.
It is, and it starts with Gravenberch, who's playing really well in this second half. He's stamping his authority on the midfield in a way that he wasn't able to do before.
Dembele nearly in there, had it not been for Konate, who I don't think has put a foot wrong tonight. He's been really strong at the back.
Been excellent, been really, really good, because a lot of the time, the way Liverpool are having to take risks, it's him and Van Dijk holding the fort at the back, and they've done a really good job so far.
Gomez, with the outside of his right foot, plays it forward. It's flicked on by Gravenberch. Down the Liverpool left, far side as we look. Gravenberch on the edge of the area. He's got a man square, but decides to chip it in. Headed out by Hernandez. One back by Gravenberch, but the header is loose, and Paris can pick it up, and Pacho can clear, but only as far as Konate. This is real pressure being applied by Liverpool. Can they get a goal, though? Salah, edge of the area. Pass was a bit too much to ask of his teammate Wirtz. Szoboszlai in midfield, turns, comes back towards the Liverpool right. Gomez, time to look up, crosses it deep, too deep. It may just go out. No, Kirkes will retrieve it. Liverpool far side now. They're threatening a goal.
It's the first time tonight they've had sustained momentum, and they're pushing Paris back at the moment. But they've got to make the most of this spell if they can.
Crowd getting right behind Liverpool. Konate through the gap down the right. Salah cuts it back. Wirtz skips one challenge. Can't get round another player. Will pick it up near the corner flag here. Under pressure from Zaïre-Emery. Sliding tackle from Gomez. Pacho away in desperation. And for the first time in this game, we're seeing Paris looking nervous.
Yeah, they're pushing them back all the time, and Wirtz is starting to get the ball in dangerous areas as well.
Loose pass from Szoboszlai. This is where there's a threat, though. If Paris can break away, Liverpool are in trouble. And it's 3 against 2. Kvaratskhelia through the middle. Dembele to the edge of the box. He squares it. Out comes Mamardashvili. And Milos Kerkez makes the challenge. The flag has gone up anyway. But Liverpool, because of the pressing forward, because they're committing players, were almost done on the counter.
Yeah, it was offside, I think, against Dembele initially when it was played out to that left-hand side. He didn't really need to be offside in that position, but as you say, Mike, we've had an hour now of this second leg. This is where Liverpool have to commit. There are going to be spaces on the counter, no doubt.
Liverpool attacking again. Away to the right. Wirtz back into the box. Cody Gakpo on his left foot. Tries to play it into McAllister. It's behind the Argentine. And Paris come away with it now. This game is opening up.
Yeah, Liverpool have to go for it. I mean, this was always going to happen if they could stay in the tie, which they have. They've given themselves the platform to do this, but they have to be almost perfect from here on in.
That's in defence. They cannot afford to concede again, otherwise the tie is done and dusted. They've done it before in Europe of Liverpool. They've come back from difficult positions. They've done it at Anfield, they've done it in Milan, they've done it in lots of places.
Istanbul was
Istanbul, sorry, against Milan.
And it's one of those situations, we see it in the Champions League all the time. You get one, that changes the dynamic completely. It gets the crowd really involved then, and then Paris are under pressure.
João Neves trying to twist his way down the dead ball line. He wanted a free kick, wasn't going to get it, and then there's a barge in the back by Marquinhos on Gakpo. Liverpool have a free kick. Paris look a little rattled.
Yeah, I have to give Gakpo a lot of credit, actually. He's really stamped his authority on this second half. He's played with real physicality. He's made himself an option time and time again for the players in midfield and out wide. He's playing, we know him as a left winger, but he can play that centre-forward role, and he's doing it really well so far.
17 minutes played in the second half, about half an hour for Liverpool to come up with a couple of goals. They're certainly in the ascendancy. Arne Slot still jumping around his technical area. Into centre field. Van Dijk just inside his own half, goes out to the left to Kerkez. Down the line for Gravenberch, the noise rises, the volume increases inside Anfield. Gravenberch shot to the near post. Safonov down low to get on top of the ball.
He's entitled to go for it, Gravenberch. We're seeing him more and more bursting into the box and getting into good positions. He just doesn't catch hold of it. Can strike a ball beautifully. And we are going to see, we talked about him at half-time, we're going to see Rio and Gamoa. And this kid is very, very special. And this will be a really interesting test for Paris, because if Liverpool can get him in possession on a regular basis, one-on-one against Paris defenders, he can do damage.
In the meantime, Alexis McAllister, who won't play in the first leg of the semi-final if Liverpool were to get there. Gomez, 25 metres out, goes for goal, strikes the back of Pacho. Szoboszlai keeps it alive. Liverpool still have it inside the Paris half. On this, their right flank, Salah. Into Wirtz, laid off to Szoboszlai, who can shoot from here, can he? There's not a lot of room. The ball takes a ricochet, down goes McAllister, and Liverpool have a penalty. Referee Mauricio Mariani did not hesitate in pointing to the penalty spot, and Liverpool have a chance. The door is open. Can they walk through it?
I think it's really smart play from McAllister. What happens is the shot comes in from Szoboszlai and McAllister just uses his body. He knows that Pacho is coming and he's just tried to shield it, use his body, get in between Pacho and the ball. Pacho can't resist going for it and he just bumps into the back of him. I think that's really smart from McAllister. He reacts more quickly after the shot from Szoboszlai is charged down.
Paris disputing the decision. The referee is still in conversation with both captains Marquinhos and Virgil van Dijk, and the referee Mauricio Mariani is in communication with his other officials as everybody waits to see whether this penalty award will stand. It may not be to the liking of Liverpool because the referee is being urged to look at the screen, pitch side, penalty check.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because there is contact and it'll be really interesting to see what the judgment is, because there's no doubt that there is contact between Pacho and McAllister. Pacho was absolutely adamant that he'd done nothing wrong. So it'll be interesting to see if this does get reversed. Obviously, normally when a referee goes and looks at the monitor, there's a high chance that it will be reversed, but we'll see.
Here he is. He's ruled it out. It is not going to be a penalty. It's gone down like a lead balloon inside Anfield because the majority of the fans thought Liverpool had a way back in. So no penalty after a VAR check. So huge relief for Paris, a setback for Liverpool, who really had momentum.
What it comes down to ultimately is what your interpretation is of whether McAllister brings the contact on himself. What I mean by that, does he lean into Pacho, causing that coming together and then him going down? My first reading of it was that he'd been smart, but the referee's looked at it again and feels that McAllister has initiated the contact with Pacho. That's what's caused him to go down, and that's why, therefore, it's not a penalty. Tight call.
Liverpool 0, Paris 0. Paris lead 2-0 on aggregate. We're almost at the midway point of the second half, and we are going to see the introduction of 17-year-old Rio Ungamoa, who scored for Liverpool against Fulham in the Premier League at the weekend. He became Liverpool's youngest ever goal scorer in the Premier League at Anfield, and having only been on the field for 22 minutes, Joe Gomez has gone off. I can only assume he's injured unless Arne Slot is going for broke.
Well, this is the time to go for broke if you're going to do that, and I think what they've done is they've moved Szoboszlai to right back, and Ngamoa will move into an attacking role. We've seen Szoboszlai fill in at right back a lot of times for Liverpool, and if you are going to go for it, I guess this is the time to do it. What you don't normally see, of course, is a half-time sub go off 22 minutes later.
Especially as his introduction actually helped Liverpool.
I think he's just out and out throwing everything at it. I think that's the way that he's going to try and get through this tie, but makes the shape interesting.
Ungamoa now, left side of the penalty area. First thing he does is win a corner.
This is what I love about him. I think he's, you know, he's a little bit like, I mean, this is a very high bar to set for him, but he's a little bit like Lamine Yamal in the sense that, or like Jeremy Doku at Manchester City, as soon as they get the ball, the only thing in their mind, run at my man, just run at them, commit them, make something happen, back your man up into the box. That's what you want wingers to do. You want them to commit the man that they're attacking.
Szoboszlai with the corner, swung in, headed towards goal, and it looked as if Alexis McAllister had found the net, but he's put it just wide, and it must have been close to going in.
For a man who's not the tallest, Mike, he gets himself into some super positions at set plays, and all he's trying to do is just guide that on target, but he's outside the width of the posts, and that's always difficult when you're not in between the posts. It's really hard to guide that kind of header on target, and he just doesn't quite get enough on it. But this has been a good effort from Liverpool. They've kind of set the table in the first half. They've stayed in the game, and this is where they've pushed. And with a little bit more precision, I think they could have got the opening goal already.
Pained expressions on the majority of the fans inside Anfield, who are desperate for their team to get it, the goal they need to get them closer to Paris, who at the moment are holding on to a semi-final berth. They'll play either Real Madrid or Bayern München in the semi-finals, should they do so. Elsewhere, Atletico 1, Barcelona 2 on the night. Atleti lead 3-2 on aggregate. Barcelona have scored another goal, but that was disallowed as Liverpool come forward. On this near side, the right, Gravenberg into the area, laid off by Wirtz. Good first touch by Salah, can't get the shot away. Again, Paris swamping Liverpool inside the box to block any opportunities, but Liverpool will come again down the left this side. Gakpo into the area, he's got Ungamoa to the left, the ball's gone up into the air, and the referee decides that there's a foul on a Paris player, and it's going to be a free kick to the visitors, who need a bit of respite.
It's very easy for me to say, but the ball there for Gakpo was to move inside and then slip it out to Ungamoa, and in the end he gets himself a little bit caught, and that's how Paris are able to get back. But again, there was a lovely touch in the previous move from Florian Wirtz that just opened the door for Liverpool, and Salah couldn't quite get the shot away. But with 20 minutes to go, even though Liverpool are running out of time, they are in this tie in a way that, once you watch the first leg, you weren't sure they were able to mount a charge like this, but they're still in it.
Both teams have had 3 shots on target in this game. Paris denied Liverpool in the first half with some brilliant defending, goalkeeper and defender alike. Liverpool thought they had a penalty a few minutes ago. Now they're attacking. Salah, left-footed into the box. Gakpo trying to turn, lays it off. Wirtz can't shoot. McAllister can. It's blocked again. Kirkes, left edge of the penalty area, finds Ungamoa onto his right foot. He might have a shot at goal. He does, and it's saved by Safanov, and he holds on to it. It's really vicious effort from Ungamoa, skidding off the wet surface. That's good goalkeeping.
It's brilliant football all round. Ungamoa moves his feet so quickly, gets the ball out of his feet, goes for goal, just as he did against Fulham at the weekend, actually, but just can't quite find the bottom corner, and Safanov responds really quickly, gets down well, gets a bit of fortune in the way the ball doesn't bounce away from him, but that's good goalkeeping and excellent wing play from Ungamoa.
As I said several times in the second half, Liverpool coming forward again. It's been all Liverpool since the break. They're not letting up. They're using every ounce of energy, putting a foot into every tackle, and they've won it back inside the Paris half. Left edge of the area, Ungamoa, a couple of step-overs, tried to lay it square to McAllister, but someone in a black shirt got in the way. And Paris have it themselves. This is where they could be really dangerous on the break. They've played it down this, the left side. Barcola, left-hand angle of the area. Kvaratskhelia, we haven't seen much of him in the second half. Picks it up, squares it to the D. Dembele onto his left foot. Dembele! And after all the pressure from Liverpool, all the momentum that they had, it's been wiped out. Paris Saint-Germain has scored on the night and extended their advantage in the tie completely against the run of play. Liverpool are crestfallen. Liverpool 0, Paris 1. Paris leads 3-0 on aggregate.
The word is ruthless, and Ousmane Dembele there, ice cool. Liverpool have made the running in this second half. They've put Paris under pressure. They've created chances, but they haven't found that clinical edge they've needed in front of goal. And the first genuine chance maybe that Paris have had to create something, and they've scored a goal from it. Starts with Barcola. He finds Kvaratskhelia. It's just a simple pass, really, to Dembele. And it's just a little shift on the edge of the D. Sucks in the challenge of McAllister, gets away from him, and then he just passes it really calmly, left-footed beyond Mamadashvili, who can't get there. It's a gorgeous goal from Dembele, and having soaked up all of that pressure, Paris deliver what could be a decisive blow.
Soaked being the appropriate word in the pouring rain of Anfield. Despair on the faces of the Liverpool fans, who until that point thought their team might be able to get back into this game. Attack after attack after attack, but it's pure decisiveness and efficiency which has paid off, and Paris are on course for the semi-finals. Liverpool will keep on attacking. Here is Mo Salah running at the Paris defence, edge of the area, wants to get on his left foot, can't, and the ball skates, does it not, off a Paris player? I think it looked like a corner to me, but it's been given as a goal kick. Clever play from Paris. They doubled up on Salah. No one committed. They stayed on his left side.
I think they have really, for all of the pressure that they've had to endure, they've never looked ragged, have they? They've defended calmly. They haven't been able to control possession in the way that they wanted to. Liverpool have made a change here. Fresh legs, McAllister being replaced by Curtis Jones, but... Well, they're in again, maybe.
Inside the Liverpool area, Dembele, Mamadashvili's committed himself and he's lost it. There's no goalkeeper. And in the end, Konate strikes the ball and it hits a Paris player, goes out for a goal kick. They got away with it there, did Liverpool. Incidentally, Curtis Jones has just come on in the aftermath of the goal for Alexis McAllister. Kevin, take us through this chance that Paris just had.
Yeah, it's a long ball towards Barcola, who's made a real difference, actually, and he manages to stretch out and get a touch to it and keep that move alive. Dembele comes onto it, does manage to get the better of Mamadashvili, but there are so many Liverpool players back there that they're able to make the block.
So 15 minutes of normal time remaining. Paris looking like they're going to make it through to the last four as they attack again to our left. Good challenge by Kirkes, who's gone down injured with Barcola. Players stop, which gives us a good opportunity to find out what's going on in Madrid. Natalie.
Well, it's still the same scoreline. Barcelona 2-1 up on the night, but Atleti 3-2 ahead. It could have been game over, though, had Robin Lenormand's effort not been saved by Joan Garcia. So it's still very tentative, this game. It could go either way, both teams having plenty of chances. It is, Kevin Hatchard, exactly what we expected, end to end.
Yeah, and I think Atletico are posing a threat because Sørloth is such a good goal scorer. He's come on for Griezmann, and it shows the quality they've got in attack. And as Barcelona take more and more risks, Atletico know they are going to get chances to make things happen.
Liverpool have possession inside their own half, trying to move forward. It's gone all the way back to Mamadashvili. They've now got to score 3 goals in the next 15 or so minutes. They've given the ball away inside their own half. Paris can really put pay to any possibility as Dembele looks to find Kvaratskhelia. Won back by Szoboszlai. Liverpool not giving it up. Plays it forward. Wirtz beaten to it by Pacho. Ball's fallen loose. Liverpool still determined to win it. Wirtz into the area. The surface is so wet now. Spraying up as Wirtz plays it in. Now Kirkes just outside the box on the far side, Liverpool's left. Ungamoa, square ball. Curtis Jones nearly lost possession, under pressure. He's got support in centre field from Gravenberg. Paris working really hard off the ball here. They're all back behind it. Salah from the right, gets the return ball into the area. Mo Salah. Basically, João Neves just falls down in front of him. Now Wirtz, and he didn't even know what he was doing, but Hernandez put it out for a corner.
There's always a Paris player there. They have defended in numbers really, really well. And every time it looks as though Liverpool are going to get there, they can't quite find a way, find that space to shoot or find the killer pass.
We're going to get an update on the other game in a moment as Salah takes the corner. In it goes, right into the heart of the goal mouth. Safonov uses both fists to punch away. Let's find out what's happening. Natalie?
There's been a red card, and perhaps this is game, set and match then for Atleti. It's Eric Garcia who's been given a red. Initially, the referee had opted for a yellow for a challenge on Alexander Sørloth. He was the last man. VAR have intervened. He's gone and checked the monitor. He's upgraded that yellow to a red, Kevin Hatchard, which makes the evening more difficult now for Barcelona.
Well, he is last man, and it's exactly what happened in the first leg to Pau Cubarsí, and that's how Barcelona take risks. They push high, they leave space in behind. Atleti made the most of it last week, and they've done that again. Good run by Sørloth in behind. Eric Garcia has to try and do something to affect him, brings him down, and that's why it was a red card.
It's a red card. Barcelona still 2-1 up on the night, but Atleti 3-2 up on aggregate following Ademola Lookman's first half goal. That means they are in control of this tie, and they have 11 men as opposed to 10 now for Barcelona.
And Atleti will play either Arsenal or Sporting in the semi-finals, whereas it looks to us like Paris are going to face either Bayern München or Real Madrid. But wait up, Rio Ungamoa's on the run down the far side, the Liverpool left, infield to Curtis Jones. Jones to the left-hand angle. Ungamoa keeps it in Liverpool's possession. Goes square. Gravenberch, first touch, into his feet. Powerful shot, but a bit like the one earlier, off target. Good work by Ungamoa from that left side. He played it in, and Gravenberch had to snatch at it under pressure.
But this is what we're seeing, Mike. Ungamoa's made a real material difference since coming on, because he's opening up spaces. You have to get out to him. You've got no choice. You've got to try and close him down. And he just opens up those spaces so well, and that's what makes the space for Gravenberch. But again, Liverpool have built up a whole host of ifs, buts and maybes, haven't they? Maybe if we played this pass, or maybe if we'd struck that shot a little bit more clinically. But they have played well in general.
And they keep on trying to get forward. Paris preparing a substitution. Lucas Beraldo is about to come on. Here's Kerkez for Liverpool inside the Paris half. Szoboszlai back to Gravenberch, not the best of return balls, couldn't get there, and now Paris will try and break in numbers. They've got lots of players coming forward, 2 on the far side. Dembele outside of Hakimi, who wants to return, still with Dembele, who shoots, strikes Konate. Liverpool come away. Jones to Ungamoa. There are 10 minutes plus stoppage time. Well, we know what Liverpool are like. It is possible. You never know. But they're going to have to score one of them soon. Here's Wirtz. Just outside the area. Into the box it goes. Jones not allowed to turn. Paris have been so good defensively at that final moment.
Marquinhos again. Inspirational. This is why he is their leader. He's played hundreds of games for them. Finally won that Champions League he was desperate for last season. It's a great ball from Wirtz, actually, but just closes him down straight away. Great defending again.
Warren Zaire-Emery is the player who's going to come off to be replaced by Lucas Beraldo with 9 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Paris 3-0 up in the tie, 1-0 up on the night. Liverpool have played really well in the second half, but have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, I think it's just Luis Enrique trying to bolt the door, because Lucas Beraldo will just go into that defensive line. He is the centre-back by trade, just to try and make sure that Liverpool don't have a platform. Liverpool have, you know, bearing in mind they were coming back from 2-0 down, they've pushed really hard in this second half. You can't necessarily do that for 90 minutes, so maybe they did time the push well, but Paris have found that quality.
And now they have numbers up as the ball is attempted to be played through towards Barcola. Liverpool come forward themselves down the near side. Wirtz, slightly heavy touch, means that he can't find a teammate. But they'll try and win it back again. Jones is in there. Wirtz keeps trying. Eventually, he concedes the free kick. João Neves has gone down, and Arne Slot, you could see his reaction when the goal went in. He just turned away, and he just felt the resignation all around him and those Liverpool fans.
You said it in commentary, Mike. It was against the run of play. They were pushing so hard at the time, Liverpool, but this is why Paris are the European champions. This is why they've been so successful under Luis Enrique, because they are able to find that clinical edge. They did it against Chelsea. They weren't always the better team against Chelsea. They scored a ton of goals against them, because when those chances came, they took them. And that can be the difference. In a tie like this, where the margins are so tight, if you could be ruthless, it goes a long way.
Szoboszlai gets the return ball on the edge of the Paris area. To the left now, laid off by Kerkez. Ungamoa needs some space to shoot. Paris just not giving anybody any room to shoot. That's a clever back heel. Keeps it alive for Liverpool. Jones, down goes Cody Gakpo inside the area. The referee was close to it. No possibility of a penalty. Clutching at straws almost as Paris try to break. Szoboszlai, who's done his defensive duties really well today, gets it back under pressure from Barcola.
I tell you who's changed the game in the second half, Barcola, because he's running in behind. He was involved in the goal that Dembele scored. He's been involved in a chance for Dembele that was cleared off the line effectively. He's been a real threat in behind.
Left wing of Liverpool, far side as we look. Ungamoa, they've doubled up on him there. Kvaratskhelia and Hakimi, and they've won it back. Paris swept to this near side by Achraf Hakimi to find the goal scorer, Ousmane Dembele. Paris quite happy just to knock the ball around now, keep possession of it, frustrate Liverpool. tire Liverpool even more. And they're working it down the far side. In it goes to Kvaratskhelia. Foul by Konate, whose reaction is to turn to the referee and protest the decision. And all it does is earn him a yellow card.
Yeah, it's just pure frustration. I think he and Van Dijk have actually played really well tonight. They've kept Liverpool in it in terms of being able to mind the back door while Liverpool took risks and threw a lot of players forwards. It's been really hard work for them. But this has been a very calm, mature performance from Paris. Never really looked, even though they've had to soak up a lot of pressure, they've never really looked panicked. They've never really lost their shape. Liverpool's quality is shown through at times, and they've found gaps and found chances, but it's been a very impressive display.
Liverpool have it with Gravenberch in midfield, forced to go back towards Szoboszlai on this near side. Let's get an update from Madrid. Natalie?
No further goals, but as you can expect, Barcelona doing all that they can to score once more in this one. Bear in mind, they are down to 10 men after Eric Garcia's red card. But my goodness, every time Barcelona attack, Atleti, Kevin, are just getting back in numbers so quickly that they're finding it very difficult now, Barcelona, to break them down. Yeah,
and there's those spaces in behind that Barcelona back line because Barcelona have to take risks now. Rashford now racing down that left-hand side. Barca have to go for it, and Atleti know they can lure them into that trap and create spaces at the other end.
It is Barcelona who leads 2-1 on the night, but it's 3-2 that Atleti are up in this tie, and there is a breakaway for Atleti as well.
Yeah, an opportunity here, racing through. It was Molina, and he shot straight at Joan Garcia. He was all alone there. He has scored a couple of brilliant goals recently, Molina, but the right back just tried to get it on target, and it was comfortable for Joan Garcia. Big chance there for Atletico.
Barcelona 2-1 up on the night, but Atleti 3-2 up on aggregate.
Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1 at Anfield. Paris 3-0 up in the tie and heading for the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. Just getting a replay of Ousmane Dembele's celebration. Do you know what that celebration is? He picked up the phone. No one was on the other end, so he put it down again. Put
it down with disgust. I mean, when you score as many goals as he does, you get plenty of chances to work on your goal celebrations. Has to come up with a fair few of them. Have to see if that one will catch on.
Well, he was called upon there, and he's found the finish to put Paris almost there as Liverpool still try and come forward in these closing minutes. Salah to the edge of the area. Kirkes on the turn. Really nice hit as he spun round, but it was straight at Safanov.
Yeah, it's good technique. They got plenty forward there. It's a nice spin, actually, by Kirkes, but he's got Wirtz inside him. Maybe that was the pass, but it's one of those where when you're in that position, the adrenaline's pumping, you just go for it, and he actually struck the ball pretty well.
The ball has gone out of play for a Liverpool goal kick away to our left. That save from Safanov, followed by Marquinhos' block in the first half, is now looking really pivotal.
Massive moment, because if Liverpool had got the first goal tonight and the crowd had really got involved, who knows what they could have done, because they have played really well in the second half.
And they're attacking again. Ungamoa to the left, crossed in towards this near edge of the area. Salah pushes it down into the path of Gravenberch, but it's robbed by Paris, and they're on the counter down the near side with Bradley Barcola. Luis Enrique screaming instructions from the touchline, soaked to the skin in the pouring Merseyside rain. And talking of Merseyside, Liverpool have got a Merseyside derby coming up at the weekend against Everton. That's all you need after this.
Well, what an enormous game that now becomes, because if Liverpool do go out of this desperate to get back into the Champions League, it's by no means certain they're going to do that with the way the Premier League is at the moment. So that game at Everton, absolutely huge, and the first Merseyside derby at Everton's new stadium.
Liverpool currently 5th in the Premier League, which is the last guaranteed Champions League spot in the English Premier League, as Barcola steps into the area. Great challenge from Konate. That sums up his night. Clean sliding tackle in the penalty area when he's been at it for nearly 90 minutes.
Yes, some effort. I mean, the spaces are opening up now. Liverpool throwing everything at it to try and get a goal.
Credit to Liverpool. looks like a lost cause, but they're still attacking. Ungamoa onto his left foot in the area. A shot takes a deflection. Liverpool have a corner kick, and we have a minute of normal time left.
I know I sound like the Rio Ungamoa Appreciation Society, but how good's he been since coming on? Like, he makes things happen, he runs at people, he commits people. He's always positive, always trying to get forward. He's made a real difference. I mean, given the age that he is, it's really quite phenomenal. Already Liverpool's youngest ever scorer, 17.
Corner comes in. Oh, Safanov didn't make it. Konate couldn't get much on it either. Big huddle in front of the Paris goal. Probably about 7 or 8 players there. Safanov claims he was fouled, but it's actually his own player. He
ran into his own player, ran into Beraldo. And I mentioned earlier, if there is an area where he's a little uncertain at times, it's coming for the high ball. And there he's coming through traffic, ends up bumping into his own man.
They're into the second minute of 8 added on in the Atleti Barcelona game. Atleti leading 3-2 on aggregate, but they're 2-1 down on the night. Barcelona, if they can score a goal in the next 7 minutes, they can take this to extra time, Natalie.
That they can, and Robert Lewandowski just had a header saved. It wasn't the most powerful of headers, but it means with plenty of time still on the clock, Barcelona know, as you say, Mike, that only another goal forces extra time. And I say that, and Atleti now are on the charge. This is what we're seeing in this game. It has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it was Llorente there trying to burst through in the centre and try and force the ball past the goalkeeper. They got numbers forward there. It's becoming chaotic in stoppage time. That's exactly what we expected. Lamine Yamal leading the charge to try and get Barcelona back in the game. He's trying to play it forward there towards Araujo, who's gone forward as a centre-forward, really, a centre-back, but playing centre-forward. Lamine Yamal again down this left-hand side, the near side as we look at it, as they build here. Barcelona, Frenkie de Jong working it square. Koundé now inside right channel as they try and put the pressure on. They've switched it to the left-hand side, and Lamine Yamal, left corner of the penalty area, but Atletico with numbers back and managed to win that ball back. And we've had a goal at Anfield.
But it's another Paris goal, and it's another one from Ousmane Dembele. A breakaway by Paris down the left. It was played into Barcola, who slid the ball across for Dembele, who kindly accepted the invitation and swept it underneath Georgi Mamadashvili. In the end, Paris going through with a comfortable scoreline. Doesn't really tell the story of the night, but it was a well-worked goal. Kvaratskhelia just tucked it in from the left flank to an unmarked Barcola, and Dembele was completely unmarked at the back edge of the box. Mamadashvili scrambled across to try and block it, but really there was little chance for the Georgian keeper to keep it out. Dembele nutmegs Mamadashvili, gets his second of the night, and it's 2-0 to Paris. 4-0 on aggregate.
OK, Mike, let's just focus our attention, shall we, on what's happening in Madrid, because it's all to play for. Remember, just a goal in it, really, for it to be forced into extra time. Barcelona 2-1 up on the night, but they're 3-2 down to Atleti. Kevin Hatchard, it really is all go in this one still.
It is, and Barcelona have brought on Ronald Araujo, who is a centre-back, and they're using him as a auxiliary centre-forward, just sending crosses into the Atletico penalty area to try and get this goal they need. It's the Atletico fans who are celebrating at the moment, but still 4 minutes separate them from a place in the semi-finals. Nico Gonzalez trying to win it down the right-hand side for Atletico Madrid. Collected calmly by Pedri as Barcelona build from the back, but they've got a long way to go. Frenkie de Jong down the left-hand side. Just shy of halfway. Rashford's dispossessed by Llorente as Atletico work it down the right smartly. Molina forward down the touchline to the big Norwegian Sørloth, but he's giving it away to Lamine Yamal. Can ill afford to do that, but Lamine can't keep it, goes down. Clement Turpin gives the free kick, and every time Barcelona get a free kick, it's a chance to load the box, but this time they turn it down. Koundé just works it infield, and now Lamine Yamal midway inside the Atletico half, dead centre. They play it out to the right-hand side. Rooney Bardghji onto his left foot, just trying to find space for the cross. Is there one final chance for Barcelona? Frenkie de Jong curling ball in, and Musso comes out and claims it. Positive goalkeeping from Juan Musso, and only 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining.
And you will not miss a thing with us here at Matchday Live. Let's quickly bring you a further update then what's happening at Anfield. Mike Sewell.
2 minutes of added time left. Liverpool 0, Paris 2, 4-0 on aggregate, and Paris attacking again. Left-hand angle of the area, away to the left with Kavica Kvaratskhelia, who works his way into the box, shoots, and it's cleared at the far post by Kerkez. 2 Dembele goals on the night have confirmed Paris's place in the semi-final, but not after a good fight from Liverpool in this second half. 2-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate.
Mike, thank you very much. Back to Kevin Hatchard then, who's keeping across Atleti against Barcelona.
Marcus Rashford's just put in a low cross into the Atletico area, and they were able to smuggle it away. But here comes the Dutchman Frenkie de Jong down the inside left channel, out to Lamine Yamal, tied to the touchline, near side the Barcelona left. As we look at it, Nico Gonzalez making the block. Gerard Martin for Barcelona, the young centre-back, finding Pedri. Such a quality player in midfield for the Catalan Giants, but they're running out of time. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. Here is Pedri, little drop of the shoulder to take it forwards. Out to Baldaggi, right-footed cross towards the far post, and the header over the crossbar from Araujo. That's what they were looking for, using him as a centre-forward. The cross was excellent, hung up to the far post. He's all alone, and he just can't guide it under the crossbar. Massive chance for Barcelona, and they couldn't take it.
Oh my goodness me, it's absolutely fantastic what is happening in this game in Madrid. Atleti, it looks as though, are going through, but there's still time left to play. Let's take you back to Anfield and Mike Sewell.
Final 30 seconds of the game. Liverpool have a free kick out wide on their right, which is the near side as we look. The rain hasn't abated at all during the course of the night, and it's going to be Szoboszlai to deliver, right-footed. Out comes Safanov, who doesn't get it, but it goes out to the far side of the field. Dembele goals in the second half after a real push by Liverpool means that it's 2-0 as we go into the final few seconds, and the referee does blow his whistle, and Liverpool's participation in the UEFA Champions League this season is over. Luis Enrique's Paris, the holders, are through to the semi-finals. 2-0 on the night thanks to 2 goals from Dembele, 4-0 on aggregate.
Mike, thank you very much. Let's get into the closing stages of the game in Madrid with Kevin Hatchard.
20 seconds to go. Pedri out to the right edge of the area. Baldaggi gets support. Nice little drop of the shoulder from Lamine Yamal. Cross deflected to the far post. Araujo wins the header, poured away by Musso. Uncertain goalkeeping, but he just about got the job done. Atletico fans desperate for the final whistle. Diego Simeone desperate for the final whistle, which arrives, and Atletico Madrid are through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Beaten on the night by 2-1, but they progress 3-2 on aggregate. A sterling effort. They weren't the favourites going into this tie, but Diego Simeone and his team have done it. They're in the final 4 of the UEFA Champions League.
Quite an incredible evening all round, it has to be said, and we've got time, of course, to digest it and go through it all as well. Where to begin, I suppose, really is the question. Let's take you to Anfield then, because that one finished first, and 2 goals from Ousmane Dembele turned the tie in the end in Paris's favour in the sense of cementing it. We mentioned the ruthlessness of Paris, and that is what we ended up seeing in the end, Mike.
It was not for a good try, a good effort from Liverpool, particularly in the second half. They held out in that first half. Their players are now in discussion with each other in the pouring rain. Dembele, the man of the night in terms of the goals. Liverpool fans still applauding their team for their great effort. We thought there might be a rousing recovery tonight, Anfield style, but it didn't come in the end. They just couldn't find a way through, despite plenty of possession in that second half, and they were hit by Paris twice in the 73rd and 92nd minute to finish off the tie. So Mohamed Salah is applauding the Liverpool fans. He's leaving the club at the end of the season. That's his last appearance in the UEFA Champions League in a Liverpool shirt.
Mike, thank you very much. So let's take you back to the scenes then in Madrid, where Atleti had to weather a little bit of a Barcelona storm, but they have booked their place in the last four for the first time in 9 years. And the fans, as you would well expect, very much enjoying it.
They are. Juan Musso getting applause for his performance, stepped in for Jan Oblak across both legs. And Atletico looking forward to a semi-final. Having already knocked Barcelona out of the Copa del Rey, they've now dumped them out of the Champions League. And for Barcelona, they're on course to win La Liga for the second time in 2 years under Hansi Flick, but beaten in the semi-finals of this competition by Inter last season, and now beaten by Atletico Madrid. Rafinha out injured, looks pensive, but for Atletico, pure joy. Marcos Llorente hugging his teammate Giuliano Simeone, the coach's son. I mean, he will remember as a kid, you know, their involvement in the finals previously, but they're bouncing at the Metropolitano, and it has been a terrific effort because Barcelona, you know, apart from that 4-0 defeat in this stadium in the Copa del Rey semi-final first leg, have had the upper hand generally against this Atletico team. But Barcelona will have to wait until next season to see if they can win this famous competition. And for Atletico Madrid, they are through to the semi-finals. Is this finally going to be, Natalie, their season? They've come so close twice under Diego Simeone, but they have beaten a big hitter here, and that will give them enormous confidence.
It has been some night on Matchday Live. Statement performances across the UEFA Champions League.